Folks, hello and welcome to Tavern Chat. I'm your host, Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR, your main proprietor at the Tenkar's Tavern blog. So, the second draft of the ORC license is now ready for public comment. Okay, so I haven't even looked at the document yet. Actually, I don't even have. I'll have the link to the document, link to the announcement, a link to the AxE. Oh, you like the AxE? So what do we got here? Uh, Back in January, Paizo and Alliance of more than 1,500 game publishers announced our intention to support the development of the Open Game Creative License, ORC, a system-agnostic, perpetual, and irrevocable open gaming license that provides a legal safe harbor for sharing rules and mechanics and encourages collaboration and innovation in the tabletop gaming space. Since then, we've been hard at work conceiving and developing the ORC license, and today we're pleased to announce that the second draft of the license is now ready for public comment. The second draft incorporates changes and suggestions from hundreds of participating publishers on the ORC license Discord community, adds significant clarity to key terms and definitions, substantially increases the size and scope of the project's official FAQ, and introduces several basic quality of life improvements across the board. You can download a copy of the ORC license and its associated FAQ/AxE answers and explanations. Gotta love it. That's awesome. Document below. Our intention is to solicit final feedback on the ORC license Discord until the end of the day next Monday, May 22nd. We intend for this wave of commentary to be the last round before presenting the truly final version of the license, which we plan to release by the end of May. Our deepest thanks to all project participants. Your feedback has been invaluable in making the ORC license an ideal open gaming license that will serve the community long into the future. New era of open gaming is nearly here. All right. Well, I'm not a lawyer, so taking a deep dive on the license itself probably not going to be a lot of fun. But this is the ORC AxE Answers and Explanations. The ORC AxE is published simultaneously with the ORC license that is filed under the same U.S. copyright registration as this document. The AxE serves as the official, frequently asked questions, facts document for the ORC license project. One purpose of the AxE is to provide a general indication of the drafter's intentions in interpreting the ORC license, and in the event of a dispute, the AxE is intended to be used by any abdicating body for such purpose. Subsequent versions of the AxE shall not be admissible for purposes of determining the drafter's intentions with the respect to the ORC license. ORC license in plain English. All right, folks, this is the crux of the matter. The ORC license provides a way for game creators to openly share the mechanics of their game and allow for downstream users to freely use, modify, and reshare adaptations of these game mechanics. What is openly shared under the ORC is known as licensed material and includes the broad functional elements of the game, such as stat blocks, game rules, character attributes, and the methods and systems inherent in playing the game, as well as anything else the licensor explicitly wants to share. The license is broad and lets you use the licensed materials globally in connection with printed books, video games, podcasts, AI, and any other technology that may exist to be created in the future. What is not shared under the ORC is known as product identity, and that includes trademarks, world lore, story arcs, distinctive characters, and visual art. If the creator wants to share their product identity under the ORC, they can do that, but they need to make an express declaration in their ORC notice. Otherwise, it remains their exclusive property. Under the ORC, you can use, share, adapt, and build on the licensed material however you see fit, so long as you give proper attribution in the form of a notice in your published work. This notice both credits the upstream licensors and their contributions to the work, as well as provides an easy way for downstream users to credit the author of the work in which the notice appears. By using material licensed under the ORC, you automatically agree to license out your own game mechanics in your published work under the same terms. This is why the OGL scares Wizards of the Coast, folks. In case you missed it, yes, they're shared under Creative Commons. However, the Creative Commons does not, by default, make your work viral. And that is the success of the OGL, and that is why the ORC license will be successful. If you develop your own product identity, that is your exclusive property. No one has the power to change or revoke the ORC license. Once the licensed material is out there, it is out there forever, as long as copyright lasts under these same terms. The ORC is intended to be work pretty much anywhere in the world. The official version will be registered with the U.S. Library of Congress. The copyright registration can be used as a resource, but you will probably be able to find it in many locations on the internet. The ORC is dedicated to the public domain and is free to use by anyone and everyone. So, the ORC license can be used by anyone to open their game up for others to use. The ORC license is game system agnostic. While there are strong arguments regarding the degree to which pure game mechanics are subject to copyright, placing this notice in your work removes any doubt and makes those mechanics expressly available under the license terms. Then they show you what the notice looks like. Why did you create ORC? We don't care. Why is the license so complicated? Well, because it's trying to cover everything. Who controls the ORC license? No one controls the ORC license. That is important, which means nobody can update it. Nobody can change it. Okay. If there's no organization, who enforces the ORC license? If you breach the ORC license, all the upstream licensors can sue you to enforce the license. But their remedy is limited to bring you into compliance with the license. If the breach is timely remedied, the license is reinstated from the date of the breach. We have intentionally not specified a jurisdiction, which means that anyone suing to enforce the ORC will likely need to bring that dispute in your jurisdiction. This is a tool intended to discourage litigation. All right. No, it can never be updated. Why did Azora register copyright in the ORC license? We needed a system to ensure that no one can modify the ORC license once it was released. Why not Creative Commons? This is the important one to me. CC BY SA 4.0 is a share-alike license under which the initial licensor can limit their licensed material to the creative expressions of game mechanics. Unfortunately, the share-alike provision requires the downstream community to share their entire work without the ability to designate product identity retained by the original publisher. Wizards of the Coast released some of their content under CC BY 4.0. Notice, not the share-alike, which gives everyone the right to use the content of the SRD they designated. This was a wonderful assurance for the gaming community that 5e could be confidently used forever. Unfortunately, if another company builds on that SRD, their innovations are trapped in their product and not automatically relicensed to the community. This effectively kills the virtuous or viral cycle that open source materials are built on. Can you pull your stuff out of the license once I put it there? No. It lasts forever. Yes, you can use it for a board game. No, it does not require an SRD. And while some publishers will likely release SRDs under the ORC license to make the delineation between licensed content and product identity absolutely clear, the license itself does not require the use of an SRD. The ORC license uses a definition system that defines what is licensed content and what is unlicensed proprietary product ID, and lifts that administrative burden from publishers. That's pretty cool, actually. I primarily produce game content of a mechanical nature, spells, magic items, etc., with very little content that can be considered product identity. With so little to hold back as mine, it feels like a publishing strategy gets My focus strategy gets fewer protections under the ORC than others who have a higher percentage of non-mechanical material. They can hold back for themselves. Is there a way I can designate more of my mechanical content as product identity? No, while creating this type of mechanical content may involve just as much effort as creating product identity. Copyright protection is not based on sweat of the brow. All users of the ORC license agree to contribute all of their mechanical content to downstream users. If that contribution does not fit your publishing strategy or you feel that doing so is too generous, it's likely the ORC license is not the best option for your product. I have created an entire book of spells and want to include within the work a spell from another product under the ORC license. Does this require that all of the other rules mechanics in my spell book are automatically available downstream users to reference and use in their products? Yes. Using the ORC license within the work means licensing the relevant portions of the entire work. Where is the precise line between licensed content and product identity? The license clarifies that product identity is that which is non-essential to or can be varied without altering the game. So if the baleful nature of the how or the color of the light affects gameplay, that is licensed content. It is the intention of the ORC that licensed content is a broad definition that includes physical and visual descriptive language supporting the mechanical nuts and bolts game content to include the above mentioned baleful howl and beam of sickly green light. The exception here comes in the form of product identity, such as including the name of a famous wizard, Blimble bursting Bunyan, or the details of a certain spell was originally developed by a fellow brethren of Body Burgle. All right, I like these wacky names, definitely. I just got the license to build an RPG based on the newest Hollywood blockbuster. Can I use the ORC license to publish my RPG without putting my license's product protected rights at work? Definitely, the product identity of third parties remains protected under the ORC. Okay. Can I say which primary game my product is built on? Absolutely. The trademark legal doctrine of nominative fair use holds that you can say your product is compatible with another product. Can I publish a product that uses both the ORC license and the Open Game license? 1.0a, how about using both the ORC and the Creative Commons? Licensing out original content. You can always license out your original game system for third parties to use under more than one license. Licensing out derivative content. If you license in someone else's game mechanics as part of your product, you can't roll that content over to ORC unless the licensor from whom you've licensed the content also agrees to the transition. OGL limitations. The OGL states that open game content may only be used under and in terms of the open game license. So we do not see any way open game content you got a license to use under the OGL could be licensed out by you under the ORC. Despite that, if you published an OGL product, you can strip out any protectable expressions of game mechanics you received under an OGL license and release the new product under ORC. Creative Commons limitations. The CC BY license reads, you may not offer or impose any additional or different terms or conditions on the licensed material. If doing so restricts exercise of the license rights by any recipient of the licensed material. We believe the ORC license imposes different terms because it applies only to game mechanics or designated product identity and not all copyrighted content. Digital rights are fully included. That's interesting. Does the ORC license require that I provide the source code written for software that implements or assists using the licensed content? There is no language in the ORC requiring the license to provide anything beyond the work as it is sold to end users. No license is granted under the ORC to provide software code. Okay, interesting. So, folks, this is the draft explanation. I will include links to this and links to the actual license in the show notes as a pinned comment. This could be the future of our industry that we're looking at right here. This way, it's not the Creative Commons, which helps. This might be where we're going. So, folks, Let me know what you think about the ORC and their AxE. And what do you think that the gaming industry, third-party publishing, independent publishers are going to be heading? Are they going to write their own licenses like Shadow Dark did? Or are they going to be going with ORC or something different? I'd like to know what you think. Folks, as always, be safe, be well, God bless, roll those dice, roll them well. I'll be back again tomorrow with another video. Wednesday, Talking Crit, 8 p.m. Special guest or not, I'm not sure. I think we might, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, folks, God bless.